Thank you. Borough of Ramsey, Mayor and Council, regular meeting, Monday, August 30th, 2021. May we have the roll call, please?
Mayor Dillon,
Here.
Councilwoman Cusick,
Here.
Councilman Guttletter,
Here.
Councilman Jones is not here, Councilman Tillman,
Here.
Councilman Weber,
Here.
Councilwoman Woods.
Councilwoman Woods?
Yes, Mayor, I'm here.
Okay, thank you. All right, very good. All right, then we'll have flag salute. I'll ask Officer Paul to lead us. Okay. Allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of all citizens to have advance notice of and to attend all meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting the public is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, notice of this meeting of the Mayor and Council was originally published in the Bergen Record on Sunday, January 10, 2021, in the Suburban News on February 4, 2021, and updated in the Bergen Record and the Ridgewood News on Friday, June 4, 2021. Before we start the regular meeting, I'd like to have a moment of silence for Douglas Rennie, a longtime Ramsey resident who was heavily involved in the borough, including with the Senior Center, Planning Board, Board of Public Works. So we have a moment of silence for Doug. Thank you. All right, we'll move on. Approval of minutes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Move that the minutes from the July 28th, 2021 regular session be approved.
Do we have a second?
Madam Mayor, Councilwoman Cusick, I second.
Okay, any comments on the minutes? Not hearing any? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cusick,
Yes.
Councilman Guttletter,
Yes.
Councilman Tillman,
Yes.
Councilman Weber,
Yes.
Councilwoman Woods.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, communications.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is Councilwoman Cusick. I move that we accept the communications, items 1 through 7 on the agenda.
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any comments on the communications?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd just like to recognize Captain Stitz and Marjorie Simpson for their service to the community. Thank them very much and wish them all the best in their future endeavors.
I agree with that. Thank you very much, Councilman Weber. Okay, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cusick,
Yes.
Councilman Guttletter,
Yes.
Councilman Tillman,
Yes.
Councilman Weber,
Yes.
Councilwoman Woods.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, we'll open it up to public comment. Anyone wishing to address the governing body, please state your name, spelling the last name, and address as a courtesy. Please speak in an audible tone and address your comments to the chair. There will be a 5-minute time limit per speaker unless reduced because of the volume of business on the agenda. Please note, public comment is your time. Out of respect and fairness to all present, there will be no interruptions or questions answered during your time. No time shall be ceded to anyone else, and no time shall be saved for later use. Any responses may be given during the governing body's comments later in the meeting or as directed by the chair. The borough clerk is the official timekeeper.
Good evening, everybody. My name is William Ronholz. I live at 1712 Faulkner Court in Marlborough.
Can you please spell your last name?
Rondholz.
Thank you.
I just want to say a few things about that Lincoln Light. Personally, I think it's a very dangerous intersection. I think it's well overdue that light should be changed pretty much like immediately for a regular, like a three-way light. I've been living at that address for just over 2 years now. I can't tell you how many cars I've seen making the illegal left turns into Ramsey, coming up from the lake, making illegal left turns into Ridge Road. It's really bad. I've seen an 18-wheel moving truck come down Ridge Road to make the right turn. he goes out onto Darlington Avenue really slow. And we all know that 40 miles an hour is quite acceptable for speeding on that road. And they're moving at 40, 45 miles an hour. With that truck coming out, God forbid there's going to be an accident. It's going to be a bad, if it hasn't already happened. My concern that it should be changed immediately. If there is an accident, it's just a sad state that that light has been like that for so many years. I remember as a kid coming up with my parents, that light has to be a blinking light probably at least 40 years. And when that light was installed, I'm sure the three condos associations right immediately on Ridge Road, the ones on the other side of MacArthur Boulevard, that's just such a heavily traveled road right now. The traffic was had to be a lot less than it is now. I just feel that it should be changed for safety issues. And I just hope this goes through. I appreciate your time, addressing our concern, because I know it's a county road and it's a lot of extra, paperwork that has to be done. But
Okay.
thank you very much for your time.
Oh, no worries. Just to let you know, as I mentioned to you before, this will be referred to Utilities, Buildings and Grounds Committee, because that's who deals with traffic lights, and also Public Safety Committee, because this is a public safety issue. Those committees will make the recommendation. I imagine they're going to recommend that we do reach out to the county, and at that point, the borough will write a letter to the county with the formal request for the county to begin the process. There's a lot of work that has to be done for them to make the determination whether it should become a permanent light or, a regular light.
Right,
So
right.
anyway,
I know they also do like traffic studies and stuff like that. And there's been done some.
Exactly.
Yes, but a lot of people have already taken the consideration of going all the way around. So traffic studies are good, but when it's been done so many times, people kind of like I said, they're already understand the law and they don't make the illegal lefts.
that's
Okay.
not the only place, trust me. We have the legal left turn at Erie Plaza and Ramsey at the train station and onto Church Street. So, all right, but anyway, that's the action that we'll be taking, okay?
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Anyone else from the public wishing to be heard?
My name's Tom Larson. I lived in Ramsey for 32 years. Currently live on Hemingway Lane in Ridge Gardens in Rutland. So I just wanted to reiterate the concerns with that intersection. Because again, we don't always see people making illegal turns. As a matter of fact, I witnessed a gentleman make the left turn onto Ridge and then decide he wanted to change his mind and make another illegal left to go back down Dartmouth. So he made like 2 illegal lefts.
Oh, my gosh.
in 3 seconds. But my concern also is the right-hand turn that is legal, because I don't know why anyone thinks that it's okay to be rear-ended, because once you look left, you turn right to make the right, you can't see anything that's coming with yourself, I guess, play up and hope you're not rear-ended. So that's my main concern, because I do that quite often, I make that right turn. Being a Ramsey resident all those years, that's definitely an inconvenience, not being able to make the left. It's very active in the town. I still consider this my hometown. So I'm here to support the cause, and I hope that we can, the hardware is there, so why not?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Larson. Anyone else? Mhm. Can you please spell your last name for the record?
G-A-T-T-U-S-O.
Thank you.
I have a lot of points to make here, if you don't mind.
Sure.
The light is visible from all directions, because I have emailed different people. In the beginning, I was emailing, I didn't know if I should email the town, the county, it's so confusing for me, but, people were saying, well, the light, you're not gonna see it, it is visible from all directions. The traffic study is pointless, because some drivers are already going another route. One comment was made from someone on the Ramsey ambulance corps that said it could save a life because of the time saved to get someone in distress. Because if the ambulance corps can't make the turn, they have to go all the way back, so they're wasting time. People make the illegal left turn from Ridge Road onto Darlington anyway. close their side gate on Ridge Road due to people cutting through their parking lot to be the light. Lincoln Light has been there at least 50 years now, before the condos were built. It would be better to have a two-way light which would eliminate people making illegal turns. I suggest to be proactive. Don't wait for the accidents to happen. Once the accidents happen, I don't know, because this is on file now, does that mean that the county is open for a lawsuit? I don't know, but I'm just, and if you think the blinking light is there for safety reasons, put a camera there and see how many illegal left turns are made from Ridge Road into Darlington, and you'll see it all. That's all I have to say.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
thank you. Appreciate it. Anyone else from the public?
Greetings, good evening, Chance Parker, AR, Ramsey, New Jersey. I think a lot of what we're hearing is kind of percolating, bubbling up in the community is concern about traffic, right? So whether it's Darlington Ridge Road, whether it's Route 17 and Lake Street by the Chick-fil-A, whether it's 25% of Ramsey families trying to scurry Fogger style across South Central at Orchard Street where there should be a crosswalk, whether you try to play, dodge the cars and bicycle across town, east to west, west to east. There seems to be a systematic lack of planning. And Mayor Gillen, I would like to ask you directly as a head of the government and also sitting on the planning board, what are you doing to initiate and expedite the review of a traffic and circulation plan element to the master plan? Because that is something that, I will pull it up right now. I don't think that's been updated in like 15 years. Traffic circulation and transportation element of the master plan. So that seems like a very common denominator of lack of proactive planning, which has led to many different concerns and situations Ramsey residents are facing. Secondly, I'd just like to see I know we've invested like tens of thousands of dollars into technology and whether it's streaming, whether it's updates to the website, like what can we do to make that a little bit more user-friendly? Because if you just click on the calendar and you want to find out what's going on in the borough, right, you see that there's a meeting, you click on the meeting, and mayor and council meeting tonight at 7:30, it's a dead end, doesn't lead anywhere. You gotta back out, there's no directions, you gotta go to agenda. You gotta go to find the meeting minutes, find the agenda. Okay, can I click on, can I get the YouTube link off our municipal website? No, it's this huge, super long web link, which, is convoluted, doesn't lead you directly, so you can't click and copy paste or any of that. It seems like it's more difficult than it has to be to actually provide access, utilizing and leveraging technology to people who aren't comfortable or, don't have the time or the availability to actually come down here and attend the meetings in person. So, thank you very much for your time and responses to those two questions.
All right.
and issues.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. Anyone else from the public?
James Sand, 211 Cypress Court. I feel everybody's pain with your left-hand turns. Erie Plaza has been my home away from home, so to speak. And the only vehicles that are allowed to make left-hand turns are vehicles with flashing red lights or snow removal or things like that. I mean, you could just tell me right now that you'll never have a police car there, ever. So I don't have to come up here like a pompous ass and keep on saying the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. Also, they're doing something on the side road where rescue is some construction. Now, there's a cop there sitting there with the lights on. And I said, what are they doing? And he says they're doing construction. Well, no kidding. What kind of construction? So if you can't answer the question, I'd like to have someone there that does know what they're talking about. Also, I had a complaint a while back, and the sergeant on duty was like, "Mr. Sanders, we thought you moved." And I said, "I wouldn't move without the police." That was a joke. There's other things that Church Street, get it, it's totally useless. I mean, Erie Road, the left-hand turn, I mean, come on. Just sad. I mean, I was actually walking across there. Next time someone makes a left-hand turn, I'm not gonna run out of the way. I'm gonna let him hit me. Something on a lighter note, on the 15th at 8:52 p.m., I called 911 because a truck, SUV was coming towards me. City Med on this side, highway on this side. And I had to turn around to find out the license plate. I finally called 911, got Ramsey, and transferred me to Allendale. Allendale to Woolwich, Woolwich to Hohokus. He finally made a left-hand turn on Sheridan in Hohokus, went back into Woolwich. He had dementia and was missing for 2 days. And I am everywhere. So if I can pick up that guy driving erratically all over the place, because I'm afraid that he was gonna hit someone, but he was missing for 2 days, which is very scary. And he lived up in upstate New York, looking for Route 87. I mean, you could check that out, but I don't think the left-hand turns are ever gonna change. I would like to know when, Island Road is gonna be paved. I mean, they put little Band-Aids all over the place, but other than that, it's not ever gonna be paved. I know there's more traffic coming through there than Main Street. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anyone else from the public wishing to speak? Okay, not seeing anyone then present, I will call on the public. Anyone, if you want to speak? Anyone on the line care to speak? Okay, first call for comments. Okay, second call for public comments for anyone dialing in. And third and final call for public comments for anyone dialing in. Okay, not hearing anyone, we will close public comment. We'll move on to the advertised public hearing for final consideration of ordinances.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is the final consideration for ordinance number 13-2021. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending chapter 19 of the Code of the Borough of Ramsey, Bergen County, New Jersey, and more particularly section 19-5 thereof entitled Stormwater Control, having been brought up for public hearing and all persons interested having been given an opportunity to be heard, pass final reading by title, and that said ordinance be adopted as ordinance of the Borough of Ramsey. And be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk be and she is hereby directed to cause a copy of the file of said ordinance to be published in an official newspaper of the Borough in the manner provided by law, together with a notice of the date of introduction and adoption of said ordinance.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
We have a second.
Thank you, Councilman Weber. Any comments before I open it up to public hearing?
I do. This change is really nothing substantive to the actual ordinance. We are actually fixing or changing several typographical changes in line with the county as they requested. And that's it.
Okay, thank you. At this point, I will open up ordinance 13-2021 for public hearing. Anyone from the public wishing to be heard on this ordinance? Second call for comments.
Parker, Ramsey. I'd like to know how this ordinance is applicable to municipal projects. Seems like we've got, kind of streamlined, if you will, process to that, and certain ordinances, variances are waived, so this is to protect stormwater, and obviously our drinking water, right? There was instances just during the community senior center pool construction where the contractor was actively pumping flood water out of the construction site into the stormwater, documented by myself, countless other citizens in the borough, and proceeded to do so for a matter of weeks. So if we're going to institute protective ordinances, they should be applied universally to private citizens as well as government organizations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. Anyone else willing to have any comments on this? Third and final call for comments. Not hearing any. Roll call, please. I'm sorry, I'll close public comment, public hearing. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Cusick?
Yes.
Councilman Gottwalder?
Yes.
Councilman Tillman?
Yes.
Councilman Weber?
Yes.
Councilwoman Woods?
yes,
Thank you. All right. I hereby appoint Morgan Hoffman to the Ramsey Rescue Squad as a probationary member. We'll move over to consent resolutions.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Be it resolved that resolutions 148, 2021 through and including 157, 2021, having been considered by the governing body of the Borough of Ramsey, be and are hereby passed and approved. We have some special permits. We want to do special permits before we get a second.
Yes, please.
Academy of St. Paul's is requesting permission to hold their annual carnival on Wednesday, September 22nd through Sunday, September 26, 2021 on their school grounds. There's several block party requests. Robert Huff of Hoffman Street is requesting permission to hold a block party on Sunday, September 5th, 2021 from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. And Kelly Sylvester of Dogwood Terrace is requesting permission to hold a block party on Saturday, October 2nd, 2021 from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
yes, Councilwoman Woods,
Thank you. All right. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cusick?
Yes.
Councilman Gottwalder?
Yes.
Councilman Tillman?
Yes.
Councilman Weber?
Yes.
Councilwoman Woods?
yes,
Thank you. We'll move on to committee and liaison reports. Finance Administration, Councilman Guttwater.
Thank you again, Madam Mayor. As for the library, there was no meeting in the month of August, but I do have some comments from Director Latham, if I could read those. The summer concert series, the library ran a series of concerts at Finch Park in June, July, and August. They run those concerts centered around the gazebo area. This is the first time the library has tried to run a summer concert series, and our first time bringing this event to Finch Park. The concerts received very positive feedback from attendees, with over 175 people attending the concerts. These events have included live performance, but also include food trucks, pop-up used book sale from the Friends at Old Ramsey Library, library card sign-ups and giveaways, and series of backyard games for kids and families. All the backyard games are part of the library's Library of Things collection, which can all be borrowed from the library for a fee. We would like to offer a big thanks to the DPW, the Borough Administrator, Fire Department, and Health Department, all who have helped put on these events. Thank you.
Thank you.
As for the library facility review, the library is working on a review of the library facility to identify areas that are in need of repairs, upgrades, or replacements. In addition, the library is exploring options to help maximize the library's physical space in order to accommodate high levels of use for studying, event attendance, special projects, and collections. This is the beginning of a lengthy process and will take time to complete this assessment. The library has engaged an architectural firm as well engineers to help with these assessments. September is library card sign-up month, and we're going to be running fun promotions to encourage more people to sign up for free library cards. Kids who register will be able to participate in a scavenger hunt with prizes for finding things inside the library. The library has listed many events from September through December on their website and events calendar. There's dozens of events planned for people of all ages. There'll be a combination of in-person events, outdoor events, virtual events, and take-home activities. Consult the library's website, www.ramseylibrary.org, for newly announced events. As for the Recreation Commission, there was a meeting held on August 16th. What came out of it was the summer camp at Finch, which had ended at the end of July, was quite successful. The Ramsey Run is set for October 2nd, and plans are in place, discussing payment options such as Zelle or Venmo. Moving the park will be put off until the spring. The fall soccer programs are starting up. The softball championship game was Gas House versus Stiffies. I'm not sure of the outcome of that game, but anybody can provide that one. What's that? Oh, okay, I didn't get that. I didn't get the results of that. Discussing outdoor yoga in the fall and spring. I'd like to also congratulate Morgan Hoffman on her appointment to Ramsey Rescue as a probationary member, and congratulations and best wishes to Ramsey Police Captain Dave Stitz on his retirement. He certainly will be missed. That's all I have for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Finance and Public Safety, Councilman Weber.
Thank you, Mayor Dillon. I'd also like to offer my congratulations to Morgan Hoffman on her appointment to the Ramsey Rescue. Just a couple more comments on Captain Stitz. I do want to thank him for all of his years of service to our community and for his continued service in the fire, OEM, and RIFE organizations. I'd like to thank all the emergency services organizations and all the residents that showed up and participated in a wonderful clap out for Captain Stitz as he finished up his last day with the Ramsey Police Department. With regards to the Ramsey Police Department, the Public Safety Committee with the Ramsey Police Department will begin the interview process of candidates to backfill the positions vacated as a result of promotions and retirements. Rife, I'd like to give a big thank you to Gary Bach and the entire pool, all the employees over the pool for their hospitality as we held our annual Rife Challenger Pool Barbecue and Pool Party in August. I'd like to especially thank Glenn Popolo, Lenny DiTomaso, James DiTomaso, Glenn Karpovich, and Angela Weber for all the work they did helping to set up, cleaning, and serving. And a very, very special thank you to Councilman Bill Jones for cooking for 3 hours straight. We had a big, big crowd, and for once again making sure that the weather was perfect. It was iffy in the afternoon. He promised there'd be a good night, and he came through once again. Ramsey, the Rife Challenger Soccer is probably going to be starting on September 18th. I haven't come out with an official date, but typically we start the weekend after Ramsey Day. Ramsey Municipal Alliance will be at the Farmers Market this Sunday promoting some of the upcoming events and selling these awesome T-shirts. I think Sarah may actually have one on her if she wants to hold it up and show everybody. But these T-shirts are being sold as funds for some of our upcoming educational events. The Environmental Committee is basically going through a lot of the Ramsey Day planning. The only new site review that came up on their agenda this past meeting was the Lincoln. I think down by the old Olive Garden is a Lincoln dealership being planned. And finally, the Knights of Columbus are hosting another blood drive this coming Sunday, September 5th, from 1 o'clock to 5 p.m. at 48 Mechanic Street. You can go online and make an appointment on the Violent website if interested. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Woods.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I wish to congratulate Morgan Hoffman on their appointment as probationary Ramsey Rescue member as well. And I would like to congratulate Dave Stitz on his retirement and wish him all the best. The Board of Health did not hold a meeting this month, but plans are set for Ramsey Day, including hands-only CPR, blood pressure checks, tick check demonstrations, and diabetes information. Just a little tidbit, Ramsey is 84% vaccinated, which I think is outstanding. Can always do better, though. Ramsey Seniors. The Ramsey Seniors, the Senior Trustee meeting was held Thursday, August 12th, and I am so thankful I was lucky enough to see Doug Remy at this meeting. We thank him for his service, and he will be greatly missed. The seniors decided to cancel the senior picnic this year, originally scheduled for September 21st. They just would prefer to wait until there are no more COVID concerns. The senior holiday party will be held Tuesday, December 7th, at the Ramsey Community Center. Along with Hackensack Meridian Health, the seniors are hosting a monthly program called Ask the Nurse, the second Tuesday of each month, beginning at 11 a.m. at the Senior Center. This program is available to the public. The services offered are blood pressure screening, body mass screening, stroke assessment, and diabetes risk assessment. The next session will be on Tuesday, September 14th. A Boy Scout is asked to construct a horseshoe court next to the new bocce court and has two benches in its design similar to the entrance to the center. The seniors are going to use the funds donated in my father-in-law's name to assist with this project, and will put a plaque with his name on one of the benches, which we think is lovely. The Design Review Board meeting was Tuesday, August 24th, and there were 3 applications, one for Cava, one for Urban Car Wash, and Ramsey Family Therapy. They were approved, and a site plan was reviewed for Lincoln of Ramsey. Letters were sent to some merchants regarding code violations, and Chairwoman Marjorie Simpson has submitted her resignation due to conflicts at work. We will miss her guidance, steady approach with the Design Review Board, and thank her for her many years of service to the Ramsey community. I know I will miss her. Thank you, and that's all I have.
Thank you. Council President Kilman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I echo the comments about Morgan Freeman, or Morgan Hoffman, and her appointment to Ramsey Rescue, and of course, congratulations to Captain Stitz on his retirement, and I wish him well. I have a report from military veteran and former councilman Joe Verdoni on the VFW Post 12148. On Sunday, August 29th, the VFW members set up a booth at the Ramsey Farmers Market. They had a very successful day selling patriotic shirts and getting poppy donations. And plans are now underway for the VFW Post to march in the Ramsey Day Parade, and will also set up a booth selling, again, patriotic shirts and getting poppy donations. Upcoming in September, Shade Tree is on September 16th. The Board of Public Works is on the 20th, and I highly recommend people who are interested in anything to do with water. Those meetings rarely have an audience, and those ladies and gentlemen on that board are very knowledgeable in all areas dealing with water, as well as our consultants and crew engineering. Zoning Board, this month it's going to be on a Thursday. It's on September 23rd. And that is all I have.
Thank you. Does anybody have any comments for Councilman Jones for Public and Governmental Relations? Just to remind everybody that Ramsey Day is September 11th.
Yeah, I have.
Okay, you'll have more update on that? Okay, thank you. All right, Health, Education, Social Services, Councilwoman Cusick.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is Councilwoman Cusick. I'd like to thank David Stitz for his service and wish him congratulations on his retirement. I'd also like to thank Marjorie Simpson for her service as chairperson of the Ramsey Design Review Board. And I'd like to congratulate Morgan Hoffman for the appointment to Ramsey Rescue as a probationary member. This report will provide an update regarding our planning board, the Ramsey Board of Education, and Ramsey Responds. There was a planning board meeting on the 17th August. There were 3 site plan waiver applications at this meeting: Zelta Design LLC, Creative Learning Experiences, and International Appraisal Company. The waiver applications were approved. There was one public hearing for Ramsey Square Suites LLC that was originally scheduled for the 17th of August. However, the hearing was carried to September 21st. So the next planning board meeting is 21st September. Regarding the Ramsey Board of Education, I encourage our town members to keep current with Board of Education activities, because 69% of Ramsey residents' property taxes are for the Board of Education. Please note that meetings are recorded and posted on the platform YouTube. Once in YouTube, search Ramsey Board of Education, and the meetings are listed and sorted by date. There was a special meeting on the 24th of August, 2021. There was a lively discussion at this meeting with comments from the public regarding the mask mandate for the schools. The next Board of Education meeting is 28 September 2021. For Ramsey Response, for the food pantry, donations are always welcome. The next food collection is Tuesday, tomorrow, August 31st, from 4 to 5:30 p.m. at the garage behind the St. Paul's Church. The pantry is low on canned fruit, jelly, pancake mix and syrup, oatmeal, juice boxes, Parmalat, 5-pound bags of rice, macaroni and cheese, canned meats, crackers, and cookies. There is a Ramsey Response social media page that contains additional information regarding their projects and requests for the pantry. For the media page, they also accept ShopRite gift cards. So thank you very much, Madam Mayor, and that's my report for this evening.
Thank you, appreciate it. Okay, for my comments, thanks to Marjorie Simpson for her service on the Design Review Board. Thank you to Morgan Hoffman for volunteering for the Ramsey Rescue Squad. And of course, thank you to Captain Stitz for his many, many years of service to the borough, and I wish him the best during his retirement. Tomorrow, there will be a drive-through COVID-19 testing event at the New Jersey Transit parking lot. The hours are from 9:30 to 4:30, and pre-registration is highly recommended but not required. Regarding the traffic and circulation element, the master plan, I will ask Mr. Carey for an update on the status of that as he is in charge of the master plan. The Ramsey Police Department does do regular enforcement at the Erie Plaza for the illegal left turn there. The rest of Island Road will be milled and repaved after the water and sewer pipes for the new housing development on Island Road are installed. There will be no planning board on September 7th due to Rosh Hashanah. The next council meeting will be on Monday, September 13th at 6:30 because of Rosh Hashanah on September 8th. I'd like to thank the OEM, the DPW, Ramsey Rescue Squad, and Ramsey Volunteer Fire Department for all of their hard work and assistance to the residents during the storm on August 23rd. I had the pleasure of riding with the OEM coordinator, Mr. Venturini, all around town to various spots, and was quite impressed that the Ramsey Rescue Squad was actually running 5 pumps to pump out the basement at Brady's at the station, which had actually flooded nearly up to the ceiling of that basement. So they did wonderful work for everybody that day, and it was a long day for them, and I thank them for it. Other than that, I have no other comments. Borough Administrator.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Few comments tonight. I would just, to Mr. Parker's point, question earlier on, we will look at the links on the meeting thing. I think there are some links from, as you pointed out, from the agenda page. I know there are also alerts usually that go out the day of the meeting with those links as well. So I would also encourage people to sign up for alerts so they can get the information and get those things to there. But we'll take a look at that. Okay, a couple of resolutions I'll just comment on that were on tonight's agenda. Resolution 152 inserts into our budget a special item of revenue that was not available at the time of the budget was adopted. We have subsequently received the money through the American Rescue Plan in the amount of $778,000, $943.38. So the budget's being modified to include that as a revenue item, which will offset qualified costs that we may recover under the America Rescue Plan. I'll discuss that a little bit later on in these comments. Resolution 153 is another grant received subsequent to the adoption of the 2021 budget. So again, that's being added in. That is $48,912 in grant funding received for body cameras, which are now mandated through the state of New Jersey. So that resolution approved that. Resolution 156 allows Ramsey to participate in the state local cooperative housing inspection program with the New Jersey Department of Consumer Affairs for the period of 1 year. We've entered into this agreement where we will directly contract with inspectors to provide the necessary inspections required by the state for cooperative housing locations within the borough, and in turn the state provides the borough with funding for that, and they've determined that amount to be $6,201. Resolution 157 confirms the Board of Public Works award of a contract to OnQ Technologies for water main replacement project on Poplar and Christopher Street. This project replaces and upgrades the current water infrastructure in this area of the borough. The water mains are older water mains. They're undersized 4-inch lines. The replacement will allow for enhanced fire protection and water service in this area of the community. The project went out to public bid. Bids were received from 8 contractors on August 10th. OnQ was the low bid. After review of their bid and references, Crew Engineers recommended the Board of Public Works award the contract to OnQ, which they did at their August 16th meeting. Water infrastructure is a critical item identified in the American Rescue Plan. It's anticipated that a portion of the funding received from the American Rescue Plan will be utilized for this water main infrastructure project. I would just comment on the ordinance that's up for introduction later on in this meeting. Ordinance 14/2021. I know Councilwoman Woods will be speaking and introducing this ordinance later, but I would just, as background, say that at the June 23rd meeting, the governing body passed Resolution 133/2021, authorizing the borough attorney to further research and present to the governing body ordinance is permitting recreational cannabis businesses in the B3 Highway District and medical cannabis dispensaries in the Laboratory and Office District, as is the intent of the governing body to enact. At the same meeting, to meet a state mandated deadline of August 21st, 2021, the governing body introduced an ordinance prohibiting operation of all cannabis-related licenses and operations in the borough, and subsequently, after a public hearing at that July 28th meeting, the governing body then voted to adopt such ordinance ahead of the state deadline. As was discussed at both the June and July meetings, if a municipality did not pass an ordinance prohibiting cannabis operations in its town prior to August 21st, it could not prohibit any cannabis operations for a 5-year period. However, if a prohibiting ordinance was adopted prior to August 21st, then a municipality could take action at any time in the future to allow such cannabis operations. At this time, the governing body will be introducing an ordinance permitting a maximum of 2 medical cannabis dispensaries in the borough located in the Laboratory and Office District of the borough. The borough zoning map may be found on the borough website. This zoning district basically is a portion of Franklin Turnpike north of Don Bosco to Hilltop Road and going back east, including Williams Drive, and ending before the residential districts of Airmont Avenue. In addition to the maximum of 2 dispensaries, the ordinance also limits the hours of operation to 9 to 5 Monday through Friday and 9 to 1 on Saturday, as well as specific locations in the zoning district are excluded from operations if they're within 500 feet of schools or other public-private types of entities as detailed in the ordinance. Okay, so that will be up for introduction later on. As we mentioned, Ramsey Day is September 11th. To date, basically we have the same format as pretty much it's been in the past. The Ramsey Chamber will have their organizations participating on Prospect Street, and we'll have the nonprofits on Island. We'll have a little earlier start. We'll kick off the parade at 10:30 this year, and we'll have a hard completion time of the event for 6 p.m. Subsequent to that, the borough will have its annual September 11th ceremony, held on the 11th at 6:30 p.m. at the Memorial in Finch Park. The Ramsey Wind Symphony will perform at the service as they've traditionally done as we recognize the 20th anniversary. Just a couple more things I'll touch on. The American Rescue Plan, as I highlighted earlier, was passed earlier this year by the federal government. Municipalities were granted funding from this law. This funding for communities of Ramsey size is to be received by the municipality in both 2021 and 2022, with 50% in each year. Ramsey received the first half of this funding, or as I mentioned, $778,943.38 this year, earlier this summer. And we're scheduled to receive the second half in 2022. The guidance for specific allowed uses for these funds continues to evolve. Some of the key components and specifically eligible projects or programs are necessary investments in water, sewer, or broadband infrastructure. There are also components to the law which allow for recovery of lost revenue due to the pandemic. Still, all details of eligibility are not finalized. Municipalities do have, though, until 2024 to commit the funds and until the end of 2026 to actually spend the funds. A few of the notable restrictions placed on the use of the funds by the federal government were that these funds cannot be used to fund pension costs, pay debt, or lower taxes. Over the coming months, we'll be receiving further information, guidance, and review potential utilization of the remaining funding. As mentioned earlier, the water main infrastructure investment project will be the borough's first use of a portion of these funds. As you know, during public comment, the intersection of Darlington and Ridge Road was addressed. I would just point out that, as was mentioned, the first step in the process would be for Ramsey to send a letter recommending the county review this intersection for consideration of a full stop-and-go traffic signal. The county would then perform mandatory traffic studies. I understand the residents feel that may not be necessary, but there are things that the county has to do. All of this guidance has to be done in accordance, and recommendations have to be done, and final decisions in accordance with the Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices published by the U.S. Department of Transportation, whose standards determine what type of traffic signal is to be used at an intersection based on the warrants of that intersection. So it is a decision based on all of those factors that go into it, and a clear-cut thing that the county will have to go by when they make their final decision. Okay? I would also echo comments and wish Captain Stitz well on his retirement. He's been an integral part of both the Ramsey Police Department as well as the community as a whole through his emergency service involvement and a number of other areas in the town. I look forward to seeing him continue his service in those aspects and still remain part of the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Borough Attorney.
Yes, Madam Mayor, thank you. I'd just like to take a moment to wish Captain Stitz all the best in his retirement. Thank you.
Thank you. Borough Clerk.
Yes, Madam Mayor, thank you. As Borough Administrator Rose mentioned regarding Mr. Parker's comments, I'm just going on our website now. There's actually a YouTube button on the left-hand side, and if you click on that, it goes right to the meeting. The issue might be that it's a live link, but until I go on and hit record or start streaming, I guess it doesn't come up. So we'll have to look, further into that. But, we have sent out alerts and with the live links and everything, so we try to make it more accessible to the public.
Okay, thank you.
But we'll look into it.
Thank you. Okay, that's the end of comments. Then we'll move on to the introduction of ordinances. Ordinance 14-2021.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled, Introduction Ordinance 14-2021, an ordinance amending Chapter 34 of the Code of the Borough of Ramsey, Bergen County, New Jersey, and more specifically, Section 34-35, LO Laboratory and Office, more specific, Building District, and Section 34-40.1, prohibited in all districts so as to permit medical cannabis dispensaries. Pass the first reading by title, and that said ordinance be further considered for final passage and adoption at a regular meeting of the Mayor and Council to be held on the 13th day of September 2021, 6:30 p.m. prevailing time, or as soon after as the matter can be reached at the municipal building in said borough. And be it further resolved that the borough clerk be, and she hereby is, instructed to publish in an official newspaper of the borough in the manner provided by law a copy of said ordinance, together with the notice of introduction thereof, and notice when the same will be considered for final passage and adoption. Madam Mayor, I don't have any further comments. I believe Borough Administrator Rose did a fantastic job explaining the introduction of this ordinance and why we are doing it.
Okay, thank you. Comment or second?
Councilwoman Cusick, I second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cusick?
Yes.
Councilman Duttwetter?
Yes.
Councilman Kilman?
Yes.
Councilman Weber?
Yes.
Councilwoman Boyce?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Any unfinished business or no business? No? Motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Hey, thanks, folks. Have a safe Labor Day weekend. Hope the kids have a good school year when they go back. And we'll see you soon. Take care.